Hi and welcome to this video where I will be talking about ChatGPT for photographers. Now, I'm sure by now you've all heard about this AI program. It's basically Google on steroids. And I'm sure if you haven't yet downloaded it and used it, it's very easy to do. I'll put the link in the comments box below. But basically you go into the chat and you start using it very much like Google. And so I'm going to dive straight in and ask it what it is and see what its answer is. So how do you describe yourself? And what comes up is its answer. I'm an artificial intelligence designed to assist with a wide range of tasks, including answering questions, providing information, and engaging in conversations. You can read the rest for yourself. Now, the thing is that this intelligence is very new, but because it's constantly evolving due to the quantity of people using it, it will only improve from now on. Meaning that although it may not be great right now for certain things, it's going to evolve and it is going to become better because it's going to get more answers and data from its users. And currently there are over 2 million users on this. So it's going to grow and expand and become better pretty quickly. And I'm going to go through some of the ways in which you as a photographer may be able to use this. Now, there are some caveats here. Firstly, the first thing that you should know is that although it will help you writing text, there are developments happening that watermark the text that is coming out of ChatGPT to indicate that it is AI constructed, which sounds convoluted, but essentially will mean that Google will be able to identify the fact that this was AI written. And so I will always recommend that whatever you put into this AI tool, you ensure that you humanize it, that you change it around. Use it as a tool. Don't rely on it. Use it as a base. So let me give you a real concrete example. Okay, as artists, we all hate writing an artist statement. So I'm going to use the tool to help me create a new artistic statement for my website. So I don't know how to begin. I'm going to ask it. So how do I write an artistic statement for my photography website? Okay, so first of all, it tells me what the artistic statement is, what it should convey. Should be brief, no more than a few hundred words, use descriptive language, explain my motivation, be authentic, okay, edit and revise, take your time to write it, okay, and then it gives you an example of an artistic statement for a photographer. Now, this doesn't help me actually write my own artistic statement. So in order to help me write my own, I'm going to feed it some information. So firstly, I'm going to ask it to rewrite what I put into it. So help me write an artistic statement, a photography artistic statement based on the following information. So firstly, my name, I have worked as a photographer for over 10 years. Where I'm based in Porto, Portugal. What else? And I photograph, what do I photograph? And I photograph portraits and still life. If you're enjoying this video and the content in it is relevant to you right now, please click the like, subscribe and follow button and give us a comment below on your experience of using ChatGPT, because that helps us keep the channel going and give you relevant content. Okay, so for now we'll keep it very, very simple and we'll feed it that and see what it says. Okay, here's a draft. As a portrait and still life photographer based in Porto, Portugal, I've spent the past decade honing my craft and developing my unique skill. My goal as an artist is to create beautiful, thought-provoking images that capture the essence of my subjects, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so one of the great points about ChatGPT is that it's collecting all of this data in this conversation, meaning that whatever I now feed it, it will also utilize every piece of information that I've previously given it in its next answer to me. And it collates this and collates it, meaning that the more information and the more data that you give it, the better the responses become and the fuller they become for you. So I can add to this. I can say, okay, rewrite the following, rewrite the above art statement given the additional, I'm passionate about subjects such as climate change, our planet, and inclusivity. Okay, let's see what it says. Bearing in mind that there are some spelling mistakes in this, in my questions to them, that's deliberate. I want to see if it can still read it and it still interpret what I'm trying to say. Here is a revised version of my statement. So again, it pulls what it's already said and then it kind of adds a little bit to it. So also inspire meaningful dialogue and action on issues that matter to me. Whether it's through a portrait of a loved one or a still life arrangement, I strive to connect emotional connections and provoke introspection in the viewer with each photographer. I aim to tell a story and make a difference in the world. Thank you for considering my work. Well, again, this is a very generic base, and it's not necessarily in the way that I personally speak or would write or would actually come across to somebody. So I'm going to try and adjust the tone of how this is written. So I'm going to add in here, rewrite the above. In a funny and personal way. And a humorous and personal tone is how they've interpreted it. Hi there, my name's Anna Gunn. I'm a portrait and still life. So again, straight away, it's introducing me first as a hi. It's used language that is a little bit fun. They've tried to add a bit of humor here by saying from your Uncle Joe's wild hair to a bowl of fruit that looks like a face. No, really, it does. Again, not a joke that I would use, but okay, it's tried. But behind the fun and games, I'm passionate about using my art to shed light on important issues such as climate change, inclusivity, and the future of our planet. So I'm your gal. That's never a phrase that I would use. And again, these are suggestions that it's making based on a whole bunch of data that other people have put in. So I can now take this and I can say, okay, so there's some phrases here that I would never use. I would never use I'm your gal, and I would never say from your Uncle Joe's wild hair to a bowl of fruit. So these are phrases that I would definitely take out and not use, but I would have a think about how I might say that So I might say, if you're looking for someone to take some seriously stunning and slightly ridiculous, I would never say slightly ridiculous, take some seriously stunning photos and make you feel comfortable in front of a lens, I'm the photographer for you, is probably how I would word that. So I'm very conscious that this isn't in my voice. It's going to be in the voice of the AI, which is great because it gives you a base. And I think instead of starting out with a completely blank sheet, this is really helpful. It gives you a way of having something to edit in front of you. I would never treat this as a final draft, and I would never treat this as something that I could then just copy and paste directly into my website, not least of all because of the copyright issue that I've mentioned about GPT copywriting this text and stating that it was made by AI, which I'm pretty sure in future renditions of Google is going to start penalizing you for using. But saying that, what I might be able to do from this is to work out what my SEO keywords would be. So let me do that very quickly. Again, this is very crude and a very rough example for you, but just to give you an idea of what you might be able to use it as. Using the above information, please give examples, a list of SEO and keywords I might use on my website. And here it does. It gives you a whole list of keywords and SEO words that you may want to include within any text for your website. Now, this is a very, very brief overview of what this can do. So it's like an introduction. And I would always say that the more information that you can feed it, the better. So if you can feed it things like your personality, what your hobbies are outside of photographies, perhaps how they link to photography, who your inspirations are as artists, what style of work you do, not just portrait or still life, but if you've got a genre of work that you do. If you can feed it as much information as possible, it means that it will give you a better result. For example, I can now go back to the top, so I don't need to carry on the conversation linear. I can pick up from the artist statement conversation we previously had, and I can ask it again, okay, given the following information, please rewrite the artistic statement in a personal way. Okay, so, oops, I pressed. Okay, I pressed enter too quickly there, and it came up with, I'm sorry, but you've not provided information for me to write. Please provide a description of your work as a photographer, as well as themes or ideas that you explore in your art. This will help me create a personalized artistic statement that reflects your vision and goals as a photographer. So it can help you. It will ask the prompt. So let's do that. My work as a photographer is classic, modern twist, and delves into deep philosophical ideas. Again, I've spelt this wrong on purpose because I want you to see that it is clever enough to work out the bad spelling. My hobbies outside of photography are walking, exploring nature, and saxophone. Okay, let's see what it does with that. Here is a draft of an artistic statement that incorporates the information provided. So it adds on, and it gives it in a more personal way. Okay, these diverse interests inform my art and give it a unique and personal touch. I hope my photographs inspire you to look at the world in a new and meaningful way. So there are things here that I might be able to take and use. I might be able to combine the previous paragraph with this one, but I would never just take this and use it directly. It's certainly a combination. It kind of gives me an idea of what I might be able to make an artistic statement to look like, and it gives me ideas, given the information and given who I am, of what that sounds like. So once again, the more information you feed it, the better it becomes at giving a very precise, in-depth analysis of who you are as an artist and what you're going to provide for your customers. So given that in mind, I'm going to rewrite my artistic statement from a customer-centric position. So I'm going to ask it to do that. So given all the information above, please rewrite my artistic statement from a customer-centric position. And it does. Whether you're looking for classic portraiture or a modern twist on images that delve into deep philosophical ideas, I'm committed to delivering high quality personalized photography. Again, this is very generic and it doesn't necessarily sound like me. There are certain things and phrases in here that I wouldn't personally say. And as such, I would want to change that. I want to make sure that my voice comes through whatever I say online. Don't forget that your website is a representation of you as a person and not what an AI program says you are. So this is a great base and a tool to start from, but please don't use this as a copy and paste moment. This is definitely something that you take, put into a Word document, rework, put your voice, put your energy, put your personality and jokes in, and then put it onto your website. This AI tool has many, many other applications, and this is just one place to start, but I hope that it's given you an idea of how you may be able to use it and a little inspiration to give it a try.